African Network for Peace Building. That's a program that comes your way every Sunday at 2 p.m. And today is not different. Sorry, I've not been able to be with you for some time now, but today I'm with you live and direct. This is Rachel Izogo Onah, and I've got in the studio my special guest, talking about Colonel Chinedu Ohonda, retired. He is the former commanding officer, 149 Battalion, Ojo Lagos Cantonment Commander, Ojo Cantonment Lagos. So you see, he is my guest today. Colonel, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, like I said, my name is Rachel Ona. My producer is here, Glory Igwe. And from now to 3 o'clock, we'll be looking at a very important topic: the proliferation of arms in the Niger Delta and Nigeria in general, and the effect it has on women. You know, arms being in the wrong hands in the Niger Delta, arms and small light weapons, as they call it. Okay, proliferation of it in the Niger Delta and Nigeria. How does it affect women in the Niger Delta and Nigeria as a whole? That is our topic today. Now, Colonel, what is proliferation of arms?
Well, there's no universal definition of proliferation of arms, but I can state that proliferation of arms is when arms leave the designated point where it's supposed to remain, like with the military, paramilitary, law enforcement agencies, security agencies. When it leaves their hand and is domiciled with hands that are not supposed to be with it, hands that are not, when I mean hands that are not, people that are not ordinarily supposed to be with the arms, then arms are with them and they use it for subversive measures or means or for other banditry, for robbery and all kinds of social vices.
Okay, now you can see that in Nigeria today, arms are in the wrong hands, so to speak. Like you just said, that arms are supposed to be with the military and those who are authorized by law to carry it in Nigeria, military, police, and other security bodies. But here in the Niger Delta, you'll find out that arms are in the wrong hands and people commit various crimes with it. How did we get here? How did
Yeah,
arms get
Rachel,
into the wrong hands?
Nigeria fought a civil war from 1967 to 70. And after the civil war, there is bound to be such arms being on wrong hands, arms that are not supposed, that are supposed to be domiciled with the military, those that fought the war, and those that didn't even fight the war. And that was what gave to robbery. Ordinarily in Nigeria, when we are small, we only hear of maybe highway robbery, but not armed robbery of getting to your house, knocking at your door, and shooting people to death or killing them outrightly, and so on. But what we are saying today is immediately after the Civil War, a lot of arms were let loose, and that affected the social being in Nigeria. Now, when you look at immediately after the Civil War, there was a decree by the military government then stating that any armed robber caught will be shot, tied and shot dead, which they executed and executed and executed to a point where you had several other armed robbers that came up, like the Aninis, the Yedpod in Lagos, the so many big names, big armed robbery groups came up, sprang up, and we are devastating the so many states in the federation and so on. And after which, another law came up: no, don't tie, don't kill armed robbers, rather jail them, because a lot of human rights activities came up whereby they challenged the killing of armed robbers and so on. But that's not fair. The major problem we have is that this proliferation of arms is not just only in Nigeria, because other wars have been fought in other parts of the world. Like you have the war that was fought in Sierra Leone, Liberia, the war that was also fought in Libya, the civil war that is presently going on in Libya, Mali, and so on. And those escalated proliferation of arms in the country. if you know, even now that we are talking to you now, the insurgency, the terrorism taking place in the northeast is still ongoing, and most of the arms are traced from Libya,
Hmm.
and that is why
So
today,
how does the arms get from Libya to Nigeria? Why?
well,
Is it that our borders are so porous
people no,
or what?
it's not a question of borders being porous. They buy it through the black market. You know, people.
What is black market in this respect?
Okay,
Because
black.
when we talk about black market, we know about fuel,
Uh,
diesel in
okay,
black
this one
market.
now is arms black market,
Oh,
whereby
oh, there is a black market for arms.
definitely,
Wow,
definitely yes,
wow,
and
wow.
ammunition and other missiles.
Hmm.
They are on sale at quantum, in the market. So it's a question of those that deal with these arms sell it to wrong hands, and they use it to cause all kinds of mayhem and heinous crimes in most parts of the world. Look at
My
why.
worry is how does it get from other countries to Nigeria?
Well,
Because
when you know how you are, when you
places like Libya, for instance,
yes,
very far from Nigeria. So how do arms get to Nigeria from Libya and other countries,
how
Chad
do
and all that, Niger?
how does goods come in from other countries to Nigeria? It's the same way arms
Hmm.
come in, because it's a trade. There are some specialists in it. There are those we used to know of. Aton Zeribe, he used to deal on arms.
Wow.
Yes, he used to deal on arms. Even it got to a point, he says it that even if his own country is at war with another country, if the other country asks him to go and supply, he will supply. So that is his business. That was one of his major business. So there are people in the black market that deal on these items, and they pass it and they sell it to whoever that wants.
Hmm.
And there are those also that are credited to deal on arms.
Okay.
Those that are credited to deal on arms, not the black market way, but
Mm-hmm.
the real way.
The real
Like
one.
if you remember when, during the time of Goodluck Jonathan, he had issues with America not supplying arms to Nigeria. So he had to go the black market way to source for arms from South Africa. And eventually, they couldn't get through. Why? Because the money that was supposedly used for the purchase of the arms was seized by the South African government, and that brought a lot of political
Bad blood.
brouhaha between Nigeria and
South
South
Africa.
Africa. But I learned it was later resolved,
Okay.
But so black markets, there are black markets for arms deals
Hmm.
and ammunition deals and missiles. So you can't run away from it.
Now, in all this, what is the government of Nigeria doing? By right, what are they supposed to do to make sure these arms don't leave other countries to come into Nigeria?
But
What should the
that is
government
where
do?
the government ought to put her feet down in the borders, especially because these arms don't just fly into the country; they are passing through borders and so on. And if you remember, our country has closed our border with Benin Republic the past
Exactly.
almost 2 years now, and they claim that yes, that it was good enough because a lot of arms were seized, even at our ports, at Apapa Port, Tinkan Island. They seized, there were some catch of arms seized that it was alleged that came in from Turkey. Some container loads of this, what do they call it? This hunters guns,
Then go.
Dane guns, and this one that carries 8 rounds of this, I'm forgetting the name. But they were all there.
Hmm.
They are seized in catch. That is in catches. So it's a question of, look, you manage your borders very well. But you have a porous border, all those things will eventually enter. But if you mind your border very well with gadgets, with equipment that can dictate all these things, I mean, you will be shocked at what you see. Because most of the times our businessmen don't declare what they are bringing in. If you watch this custom seizures and so on daily basis from the Nigerian Television Authority and other
Stations.
media, other stations, you will see whole lot of items being seized. Sometimes the trader will tell you he has tomato puree, whereas what is inside are this gonjo, this second-hand clothing, some are weapons, some are missiles, some are other things. So you have to man your borders, your ports, your borders, and the airports, because some fly them in
Mm.
without you being noticed or without them telling you what they are carrying. So, and that is why all our security apparatus, security agencies at the border must be must have an eagle eye to see how they can detect most of these things coming into the country.
Exactly what I wanted to ask, because here in Nigeria, for the past 1 or 2 years, our borders have been closed. And we have the customs, we have immigration officers, we have people manning our borders. What is responsible for the porousness of this our border, despite the presence of security agencies?
See, you see, we have a very large border. If you travel out of this state, especially if you have worked in the northern part of this country, you know that our borders are very porous and large. I worked in Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara,
You did?
Birnin Kebbi. I worked there for 18 years
Wow.
as a young officer from second lieutenant to major, this very senior major. I worked there and I know all the terrain there. As at then, Sokoto used to have 37 local government until they carved out Zamfara from Sokoto, carved out Kebbi from Sokoto. I used to man because I was the intelligence officer, to both the brigade and this. So I used to go around, and the borders are very large, but we don't have capable manpower that can man these borders. That's just the truth. You just see skeletal number of people manning one or two places, maybe Ilela side. From Ilela, you get to Kamba, Kamba, get to Isa, Isa, Kaura Namoda, and so on, and Zamfara so area. So we need to beef up the strength of both the immigration, custom, and other security agencies like the police and the army
Mm.
to man the border effectively and with her equipment. It's not just manpower manning that is it. You have to get all the gadgets that will man the border. But the borders are too large
Mm.
and very porous, and that is why these things are able to infiltrate into our country and so on without being known or seen, as the case may be.
Now, do you think it's the largeness of the borders, or the fact that security personnel are compromised? They take bribes and allow this.
Well,
For instance, during the lockdown, we saw a lot of things happening. Cars coming in, people were still traveling despite that the borders of the state borders were locked down. People were still coming in and out, and we had people manning those borders.
definitely,
So,
yeah.
so do you think it's because we don't have adequate personnel, or the compromise of the security personnel?
Compromise is a major factor. If you look at it, the way corruption has entered our system is quite endemic. Corruption is endemic in our system. And when you look at it boldly, you will know that a lot of compromise are played. And that is why the welfare of these men, welfare in form of their salaries, welfare in form of their uniform, welfare in form of taking good care of these men should be paramount in the sight of the local state and the federal government of Nigeria.